The Amy Lynn Bradley case. Vanished at sea, picture this. You're on the vacation of a lifetime, cruising through the crystal blue waters of the Caribbean with your family. The sun is shining, the music is playing, and you feel completely safe, surrounded by hundreds of other passengers and crew members. But what if I told you that this paradise could become your worst nightmare in a matter of hours? What if someone you loved could simply vanish without a trace, leaving behind only questions that would haunt you for decades? This is exactly what happened to the Bradley family on March 24, 1998, when their daughter Amy Lynn Bradley disappeared from a cruise ship in the most mysterious and disturbing circumstances imaginable. Amy Lynn Bradley was living her best life at 23 years old. A recent college graduate from Longwood University in Virginia, she was athletic, outgoing, and had that infectious smile that could light up any room. Standing 5 feet 7 inches tall, with shoulder-length brown hair and distinctive tattoos, Amy was the kind of person who made friends wherever she went. She had a tattoo of a Tasmanian devil on her shoulder, a green gecko on her navel, and Japanese characters on her ankle. These seemingly minor details would later become crucial identifiers in one of the most perplexing missing person cases in maritime history. The Bradley family had decided to celebrate together with a 7-day cruise aboard the Rhapsody of the Seas, a massive Royal Caribbean vessel that promised luxury, entertainment, and unforgettable memories. Ron and Iva Bradley, Amy's parents, along with her younger brother Brad, were thrilled to be spending quality time together. The ship had departed from Puerto Rico and was making its way through various Caribbean destinations. For the first few days, everything was perfect. The family enjoyed shore excursions, onboard entertainment, and the relaxed atmosphere that only a cruise vacation can provide. But beneath the surface of this floating paradise, something sinister was brewing. From the very beginning of the cruise, Amy had attracted unwanted attention from several crew members. She was a beautiful young woman, traveling with her family, but that didn't stop certain individuals from making her feel uncomfortable. Her family noticed that some of the ship's band members, particularly a bassist who went by the name Yellow, had been persistently trying to get Amy's attention. They would approach her at various times throughout the cruise, making comments and trying to engage her in conversation, even when she clearly wasn't interested. On the night of March 23rd, the family spent their evening enjoying the ship's nightlife. They attended shows, visited the various bars and lounges, and Amy danced with some of the other passengers. But throughout the evening, the same crew members continued to hover around her, making the family increasingly uncomfortable. Amy's father, Ron, even confronted some of these men, telling them to leave his daughter alone. The tension was palpable, but no one could have predicted what would happen next. The family eventually retired to their cabin, which was located on the 5th deck of the ship. Amy shared a room with her brother Brad, while their parents stayed in an adjoining cabin. The balcony doors were open to let in the cool ocean breeze, and everyone settled in for what they thought would be a peaceful night's sleep. Brad later recalled that Amy had been on the balcony around 5:30 in the morning, smoking a cigarette and enjoying the sunrise. He dozed back off to sleep, thinking nothing of it. When the family woke up later that morning, Amy was gone. Her bed hadn't been slept in, her cigarettes and lighter were missing, but everything else remained exactly as she had left it. Her purse, identification, and all of her belongings were still in the room. Most importantly, the ship was scheduled to dock in Curaçao that morning, and Amy would never have missed the opportunity to explore a new destination. She was an experienced traveler and would never simply wander off without telling someone where she was going. The Bradley family immediately contacted the ship's security, but their response was less than adequate. Instead of treating this as the emergency it clearly was, the crew seemed more concerned about maintaining the ship's schedule and avoiding negative publicity. They conducted a cursory search of the vessel, but insisted that Amy had probably just gotten lost or was sleeping somewhere on the ship. They refused to make a ship-wide announcement or delay their departure from Curaçao, despite the family's desperate pleas. Ron Bradley was not going to accept this passive response. He began his own investigation, questioning passengers and crew members about Amy's whereabouts. What he discovered was deeply disturbing. Several passengers reported seeing a woman matching Amy's description in various compromising situations with crew members. Some claimed to have seen her in areas of the ship that were restricted to passengers. Others reported witnessing what appeared to be an unconscious woman being carried or dragged by crew members during the early morning hours. One of the most chilling accounts came from a passenger who claimed to have seen Amy in the company of Yellow, the bassist who had been bothering her throughout the cruise. This witness reported that Amy appeared to be in distress and was being led away from the public areas of the ship. Another passenger alleged that they had seen a woman who looked like Amy being taken to a crew-only area of the vessel. But by the time security was notified, there was no trace of her. As the ship continued its journey, the Bradley family grew increasingly frantic. They demanded that the captain turn the ship around and return to Curaçao to search for Amy, but their requests were denied. The cruise line seemed more interested in maintaining their schedule than finding a missing passenger. This callous response would later become a major point of contention in the investigation and subsequent legal proceedings. When the ship finally returned to its home port in Puerto Rico, the Bradley family contacted the FBI and other law enforcement agencies. The investigation that followed revealed a disturbing pattern of negligence and possible cover-up by the cruise line and its crew. Security footage from the ship was allegedly corrupted or missing. Witness statements were not properly documented, and several crew members who had been seen with Amy were allowed to leave the ship and return to their home countries before they could be thoroughly questioned. The case took an even more sinister turn when the Bradley family began receiving tips and alleged sightings of Amy in various locations throughout the Caribbean and beyond. Some of these reports suggested that Amy had been forced into human trafficking, a horrifying possibility that added new urgency to the search efforts. Witnesses claimed to have seen her in brothels, on beaches, and in other locations where she appeared to be held against her will. One of the most credible sightings came from a former Navy petty officer named David Carmichael, who claimed to have encountered Amy on a beach in Barbados several months after her disappearance. According to Carmichael, a woman approached him and identified herself as Amy Bradley from Virginia. She allegedly told him that she was in trouble and needed help, but before he could respond, she was quickly led away by two men. Carmichael later identified Amy from photographs and provided detailed information that seemed to corroborate his story. Another significant lead came from a Canadian tourist who claimed to have seen Amy in a Barbados department store where she allegedly approached him and said she was Amy Bradley and that she needed help. However, before any assistance could be provided, she was again taken away by unidentified men. These sightings, while unconfirmed, painted a terrifying picture of what might have happened to Amy. The Bradley family hired private investigators and offered substantial rewards for information leading to Amy's safe return. They appeared on numerous television programs, including America's Most Wanted, and worked tirelessly to keep Amy's case in the public eye. Their dedication and refusal to give up hope became an inspiration to other families dealing with similar tragedies. Despite extensive investigations by the FBI, local law enforcement agencies, and private detectives, Amy Lynn Bradley has never been found. The case remains one of the most mysterious and frustrating missing person investigations in recent history. The lack of physical evidence, the questionable response by the cruise line, and the disturbing witness accounts have created a complex web of theories and possibilities that continue to baffle investigators. The Amy Lynn Bradley case has had far-reaching implications for the cruise industry and maritime law enforcement. It exposed serious gaps in security protocols, highlighted the challenges of investigating crimes that occur in international waters, and raised important questions about the responsibilities of cruise lines to ensure passenger safety. The case led to improved reporting requirements, better coordination between cruise lines and law enforcement agencies, and increased awareness of the dangers that can lurk beneath the surface of what appears to be a safe and enjoyable vacation experience. Today, more than 25 years after Amy's disappearance, her family continues to search for answers. They maintain a website with her information, follow up on tips and potential sightings, and work with organizations dedicated to finding missing persons and combating human trafficking. Their unwavering determination serves as a reminder that behind every missing person case is a family whose lives have been forever changed by an unimaginable loss. The story of Amy Lynn Bradley is more than just a missing person case. It's a cautionary tale about the vulnerabilities we all face when we travel. The importance of trusting our instincts when something doesn't feel right, and the need for better protection and response systems in the tourism industry. It's a reminder that evil can exist in the most unexpected places, and that the people we trust to keep us safe don't always live up to that responsibility. Amy Lynn Bradley would be 49 years old today. Somewhere out there, her family continues to hope that she is still alive and that one day they will be reunited. Until that day comes, her case serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of never giving up hope and never stopping the search for truth and justice.